Heading into the red hot core. Yes, I am sitting right now in Brisbane Airport, about to fly out in about an hour and 20 minutes. Be heading off out of Brisbane, 13 hours, 40 minutes in the air to arrive in LAX right around 6 p.m. Clear customs, jump in a car, head down to my buddy Scott's place, and probably stay up for a bit. Why? Because it's a 7 hour time difference right now. It's probably 4 o'clock in the morning there. I'm about to jump in an airplane, it's fine, but when I arrive, it's still going to be like 11 a.m. Brisbane time, which is a problem. It means staying up. But the next day, Thursday, which is Friday our time, I get to go into the red hot core. And this means joining Garrett J. White and the team at Warrior for a 2-day production council. Now, this is going to be interesting. I find myself in a very pivotal moment of choice and reflecting back over the last 5 years that I've been playing this game, and I'm like, you know what? It's worked. It's kind of been pretty good. Still married. Still got a great relationship with my kids. We have just completed a number of the targets that I set in, in December, just to let you know. So these were impossible at the time. Like, I was not in a great place, but not in a great place at all, and struggling. And these seemed impossible. So one of them, my wife, to get a new car, that she has ordered. She has got the Tesla Y, got the $3,000 discount from the New South Wales government for buying an EV. Good work, Tesla, bringing it down under that price. And we've also secured the bitumening or the asphalting of our driveway, which has been a long time coming. Just to let you know how much inflation there's been. When we originally did the road down to our cottage in 2018, that I think was 11,000. And to do the bit at the top extra, now all the machines are there, they were like, it's going to be 6. And if you do it later, we'll give you 9. So it just cost $25,000. I'm like, oh man, why couldn't I have found that $6,000 back then? Now that's 2018, and it's sat there and it's sat there. Now, just to let you know, it's awesome. We now have a flat, smooth surface that basketball can be played on, that skateboarding can be done on. Heck, you could even have a dinner party out there if we wanted to, but it is great. And also our cars no longer get carried in dirt. So we're down to, there's a couple more that are coming. The big one is the surfing. So surfing has been a major issue for me for many years, as some of you guys have probably noticed for a while that we've been heading out and surfing. So I feel like that's got a chance. I didn't get a chance to pick up my board that my son broke, and he then went and broke his other board. I'm like, mate, what is it with 15-year-old boys and broken surfboards? But hopefully I will be in a place to be able to go out at Broken Head and surf 4-foot waves. It's close. I went out the other day and I was freaked out. Way too big, way too much power in the waves, way too many good surfers, and I was feeling very uncomfortable. But nonetheless, over the next 4 or 5 months, I reckon it is a significant chance that I can actually get this surfing thing on point. And this has been years coming. Now, the other one that's been a long time, check this one out. Back in 2011, now that's almost 11 years ago, I began a journey into the Hanuman Chalisa. Now, this came with a warning. And if you ever know about this thing, if you are of Indian descent, or you just happen to be into Bhakti or Ramayana or Krishna Das, then the Hanuman Chalisa is the big one. 40 lines in praise of Hanuman, all in Sanskrit. I don't speak Sanskrit, so it all has to just be done by rote memory. But this year, I believe I hit the entire thing from memory. Am I going to do it now? No, I'm not. But what I found was that there was one line in verse 9 that I was messing up. And it's the strangest thing as I go through this. Like, literally the words are linked together, one after the other. I don't even know their meaning. But this has been a target multiple times, and I think it's coming down this year. So, this stuff works. This idea that Wake Up Warrior came up with, it's going to make a difference in your life. I'm going to call it clinical certainty, but it's the same game. It's going to be setting what is impossible right now, and that is the target to go for. That sets the direction. And at some level, it's an expansion of you. I have begun to become a little bit more careful with the opportunity of setting the games. And that is because previously I've realized that I have just been heading in the same direction. At the top of the mountain, I'm looking directly ahead and choosing the next mountain. But next time around, I'm going to have a look around and see what other mountains there are. Is there another direction? Being a little bit more careful. But it means that I have to know that the process works. Now, you might say, well, how can you grow so much in 12 months? That things were literally impossible to do for years are now coming true. Well, this is an interesting game. It's the daily games that actually build. And just like that compounding interest daily, or for those of you with mortgages, that money sitting against your mortgage, making a difference in the interest you don't pay, then this is the same game. The things that I do daily, in terms of looking after my body, in terms of looking after my being, in terms of looking after the balance in my life, my wife, my kids, my family, and then looking after the game of business, in medicine, in talking to you guys in graduate medicine. Like all of these things getting done daily. This builds, get better over time, more flexible, stronger, fitter, all of those things, but also a deeper connection to God, better relationship with my kids, better marriage. These things are literally falling apart in our world right now. In case you hadn't noticed, like there is an epidemic of divorce. There are people struggling badly financially. The governments are struggling because they keep putting the interest rates up and killing everything and then wondering where all their tax dollars went. That probably wasn't the smartest. So knowing how to live this life is a very interesting game. Are there other games? Absolutely. Absolutely. I've been part of Mankind Project for a long time. Wonderful tools. Idea about shadow, the part of myself that I don't want to look at. Tools around accountability.
Attention, please. Emirates flight
And then
435 to Dubai is now boarding through gate 73.
Not my flight. Not going to Dubai. Not going to Dubai. So we've got this idea of Wake Up Warrior that I've been a part of, Mankind Project I've been a part of, and then all of this to me under the big umbrella of Bhakti Yoga, particularly Ramayana. In case you hadn't noticed, I like reading the Valmiki. Not going to have that for the next couple of nights. Not going to have that for the next couple of nights. So the book is thick. The book is thick. That one that we're reading out of at the moment, that's only one of three. There's two more just like that. But I'm loving it. I've read the Tulsidas a couple of times, and I read a version of the Valmiki, but it wasn't this version. It was just a single chapter, like a single book. This one's rich. I'm learning so much about the history of the Ramayana and how all of the stories fit together. It's a wonderful story, wonderful metaphor for life, because a lot of people do think about bhakti in terms of tea and biscuits and singing and kirtan. But you go across the Ramayana and you suddenly find this book of men and going to war with demons. I mean, it's a full-on epic battle. It's the antithesis. And more as I go through life, I notice this paradoxical nature that some things appear one way and then there's exactly the opposite that's also part of it. Kind of like that, I don't know if you remember back in physics, the dual nature of light. That light is both a particle and a wave. It seems to infuse all of life. Paradoxical nature. So these are all parts of the exploration of this incredible journey that we're all on. For me, part of it is Wake Up Warrior. Part of it's heading to this red hot core. I don't know what's going to happen there. I know that I was called. There's a very clear sign to go, to be on this flight. Previous to this, I've always done it virtually, and it's powerful. But whatever that 10% gap is, or there's a conversation, or there's something that happens here. I don't know what it is. I'm kind of excited. I'll share it with you guys if it shows up. And it may not. I've also got to be open to that nothing at all happens at all. I'm like, okay. At least I got to jump on an airplane and fly halfway across the world. What a miracle that we have these things at all. So I'm going to go and settle in. I got a little bit of work to do. Help out one of my team who is, I've written some bad instructions. I got to fix that up. He's like, mate, what are you doing here? This is not good. So I got to go fix that up. and also fix up some other stuff for some software that I'm working on. So it's exciting times for me, in the midst of sadness and despair at the death of my father, also expansion and growth. So it's a wonderful time to be alive. I hope you are also finding joy and happiness, and perhaps sadness, perhaps anger, perhaps the full emotional experience that's available to us as humans. Whatever's going on in your life, know that there is support for you. If you're struggling and you want to know more on a working system, something that has been proven to work over and over and over, then send me a direct message at Graduate Medicine on the Facebooks, and I look forward to helping you out. I'll take you through that process and look what is possible for you in this life. It's very exciting times to actually believe that a working model of how to make this thing thrive. So many ways to mess it up, not that many ways to make it work. If you're interested in making your life work a whole lot better, send me a DM. That's all I got. I'm going to go jump on this plane. Next time I come to you from Los Angeles, probably from the Red Hot Core itself. See you then.